In a world that constantly moves forward, there are remnants of the past left behind, silent witnesses to the ebb and flow of time. Welcome to Abandoned Wonders, a journey into the heart of forgotten places, where the echoes of history resonate through crumbling walls and overgrown landscapes. These abandoned wonders stand as monuments to human ambition. Each location holds a unique tale waiting to be told. In an apocalyptic world that exists today, we uncover the stories that time forgot.
I arrived last night and I was actually able to get pretty close to the monument, but had to turn around because of the snow. What's concerning is it's actually even worse today, so it's going to be really touch and go to see whether or not I'm actually able to even get close enough to this monument. I was looking for the turnoff last night, and when I saw this statue, I knew that I was on the right track. So the conditions are looking absolutely abysmal. I'm really quite concerned whether or not I'll be able to get to the top of this monument. For a moment there I was thinking I wouldn't even be able to drive close enough to the monument. However, I managed to get a little helping hand getting up the mountain. I drove as far as I could, but thankfully I was in walking distance. So it begins. Whew. Gonna try and be quick. Visibility is getting really poor. Then I got a glimpse of what I travelled all this way for. Through the mist, the gates appeared. So here are the main gates. Can't see much because the fog has absolutely come through. And here are the gates, and that's actually it. I'm pretty sure you probably can't see it. Wow, that is insane. You can barely see it, but what you can see, it's incredibly impressive. It is so quiet up here at the moment. Wow, this is incredible. That artwork was done by obviously an American artist, a guy by the name of Tristan Eaton. You can see the main door has been well and truly welded up, which is a shame. Man, this weather's really starting to set in. And that is the way in. So dark, there's a massive drop off, and there's a bit of a stair to the side. So I just need The reason why I've come here in winter was purely for an aesthetics point of view, but that has backfired on me spectacularly. But what we can see is what I believe one of the most impressive views in all of abandonment. And the reason why we can see it is because that view is on the inside. After placing my camera at the top of the stairs, it was too slippery for me to walk up. Under the snow was a thick layer of slippery ice. I'm guessing I wasn't the first person to crawl into this ex-communist leader's headquarters on my hands and knees. So I've managed to find a quiet little place. It's absolutely horrendous up here at the moment to film. My camera gear is freezing up. There's a very good reason why they picked this place, and that's because it has amazing views, which you can't see today. And to give you an idea of what it looks like, I managed to get a couple of photos on the way up before the fog set in.
The Buzludzha Monument, also known as the Monument House of the Bulgarian Communist Party, is a significant historical structure located on Buzludzha Peak in central Bulgaria. It was built by the Bulgarian Communist government and inaugurated in 1981. The monument commemorates the events of 1891 when a group of socialists led by Dimitar Blagoev assembled secretly in the area to form an organized socialist movement. This movement eventually led to the founding of the Bulgarian Social Democratic Party, a forerunner of the Bulgarian Communist Party. The construction began in 1974 under the architect Georgi Stoilov, a former mayor of Sofia and co-founder of the Union of Architects in Bulgaria. The Buzludzha Monument is a striking example of futurist architecture common to many state-constructed communist buildings. Following the collapse of communism in 1989, maintenance for the monument came to a halt, resulting in its enduring state of abandonment to the present day.
At this point, I had the immediate realization that I didn't know exactly what I was stepping on, as it was ice and I didn't know what might have been underneath it, if there was anything underneath it at all. Definitely time to go back to safer ground. So clearly I'm going to have to come back in the summer to see this one. I felt it was time to go, but what I didn't realise was this building was being hit by a whiteout blizzard. It was starting to sound like the spaceship was about to take off. What an amazing place. Oh, these steps are so friggin' dodgy. They're covered with snow, but under that is thick ice and it is so slippery. Now I just gonna need to remember the way out. And I might have forgotten the way out, which is a bit worrying. I think this is it. Alright, this is horrible. I can hardly see anything. Oh God. Alright, let's get out of here. After making it back to the car, all I had to do was dig it out, navigate down the icy road, and I was good. These places draw you in, make you push further than you originally thought you would, and that's my greatest concern. There are certain things you shouldn't do alone. It's a risk, and only sometimes there's a reward. So that turned out to be quite an adventure. I'm filming this on the only camera I have left, which is the GoPro. All my other cameras actually malfunctioned. They all froze essentially, and I think I almost malfunctioned as well. When the blizzard set in, I mean, it was a complete whiteout, and I had a basic idea of which way to go, but look, that could have got a lot worse, and I'm very aware of that. For the next abandoned wonder on the list, I want to find the most intriguing place of residence. I had a strong lead of where this would take me. And straight from the outset, my list was under attack. There's no time to wait on this one. I'm straight in my car, across the Channel crossing, and I'm going to go see if the news is true. But the name gives a clue to the secret of this location. It's actually located on a park called Château Noisy. When I arrived, there was somebody on site, and I actually caught a glimpse of something which I think most people knew was inevitable. Righto, so I've just had to back off a bit. There was actually, unfortunately, somebody on site. I didn't really want to mess with that, so I'm going to put up the drone and get a shot, because I think I saw something which I really didn't want to see. And what I actually got was the first shots of this place in its final stage of demolition. And by the time you see this, it will no longer exist. A travesty when you consider how beautiful this building is, and these true architectural work of arts are becoming rarer and rarer. So it's a real shame when one of them is completely demolished. A lot of people thought and also hoped that because the front facade was still intact, that there may be hope for this property. And this highlights one of the biggest problems I'm going to face, because a lot of these properties which I'm hoping to see may not even exist anymore. But unfortunately, because it's now been demolished, I have to take it off the list. And that leaves me with a bit of a conundrum. What is now the abandoned residential property which will make the list? I've been here before and managed to get a few shots, and to show you how enchanting this property once was, here's an image that was taken some time ago. Righto, so this leaves me with a bit of a conundrum, because I really want a residential or an ex-residential property to be on this list of abandoned wonders. But how do I possibly pick one now when there is so many of them? My plan of attack is to head south to the Lorry Valley, which is located in France, because it is one of the most wealthiest areas with some of the biggest estates the world has ever seen. And even in an area such as that, there's a number of properties which have fallen into abandonment.
de la Motte-Chandonnier, built in the 13th century by the Beausset family, showcases a blend of medieval and neo-Gothic architecture. Its thick stone walls and moat reflect medieval fortification, while 19th century renovations added pointed arches, turrets, and intricate stonework. In 1932, tragedy struck. A devastating fire ravaged the interior, leaving the castle in ruins. Abandoned and untouched, nature began to reclaim its walls, with ivy and trees weaving through the decaying structure. A beacon of hope recently emerged as a global crowdfunding campaign united thousands of people from around the world. This collective effort raised the necessary funds to purchase the property, with plans to restore the castle and open it to the public.
So I'm at the back of the property, and there's an amazing chapel here as well. I'll go get a few more shots, but the point I really wanted to make was it's just amazing that a property like this can fall into abandonment in such an expensive area, which is full of tourists that come here and spend so much money to look at properties like this. Well, not so much like this one abandoned, but big, huge castles and chateaus. So just goes to show that nowhere is safe from abandonment. When talking about residential properties, we're also talking about castles. And that's going to take us back to the UK.